Kev, do you like drifting away?
Somewhat.
Please don't drift away.
Give me the beat, boys. Free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll.
I don't
That
think
kind of
that's
drift away.
no. I don't think that's the song I'm listening to. Something shifted. I don't like this. Something's not right, but it's fine. You know what? I'll deal with it. I'll fix it later. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux, and it's time once again for another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays. It is the week of March 7th, 2024. And of course, this week, as in every week, Kevy Kev, it's your boy Kev in the building.
Hey, what's good, everybody?
And yet again, continuing his streak for I don't know how many weeks in a row. We're joined this week with Sinziak. Sinziak is in the building.
Greetings and salutations.
So how has everybody been? How's the week been?
Week's been good. Week has been good. I have been holding down a small Highland community in clan folk. Outside of that, it's been pretty nice.
Sid, how's your first week of March been?
It has been lacking in sleep, for sure. Lacking in sleep, but not lacking in other content otherwise. And I got a stained glass light bulb, so we got a little kaleidoscope effect here in the evenings.
Okay.
I like that.
And that has been nice. Also, this particular week has come with a lot of adulting. This is the part where I'm just like, Major, I'm going to ask you to put on your earmuffs because it basically comes down to I have engaged with a lot of capitalism this week. I looked up my credit score. I applied for a card, and I talked to a friend about, okay, let's look at how this stuff is going and see if we can establish a budget in a somewhat serious manner. So a lot of adulting, but that also meant looking at things like cards and variable interest rates and all of this other stuff, and it's just yep, stab me in the face, because once again, the capitalism was capitalized.
Again, I can't get mad at you because you have to engage with the system. It's people's levels of willingness to engage with the system that I get upset with. Like if you were like, fuck yeah, let's get credit cards all day, baby, let's spend this money, then we have a problem. But
yeah,
hearing your unwillingness to do that,
it's like one of those
begrudgingly.
It is one of those. All right, we understand that this is one of those somewhat necessary things, and obviously I have reservations about it, but here we are. So we're gonna see how it goes.
See, it's Diogen's attitude to capitalism that causes me physical, emotional, and mental pain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to know what the funny thing is? And we're gonna say that we're gonna say this quietly. There were things that my friend who works in the finance industry, as in banking, was just kind of like, hey, when you apply for credit cards, do these things, and I'm just like, oh, word, really? You're supposed to just do that? And that was fun.
Define fun.
Define
fun.
Not in a way that I don't want people to have admissible in a court of law. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, there were things where they were just to put it politely, they said there are things when placed on an application that you do not necessarily have to be entirely forthcoming about. And I recommended. So here are the things. And I was like, You know
So
what?
ways to beat the
Work.
capitalist system. Great.
They were just like, you know what? Work. Because why? Like, how are they going to know? It's not like they're going to run behind this and check it. You go ahead and you put those things in here. And I'm like, you know what? All right.
How would they know? How would they know?
How are they gonna know?
Oh my god.
What happened?
Well, no, I mean, was continuing the meme.
You know something? Fair enough. I was like, how are they gonna? No one's gonna know.
Bank of Capitalism 1 is coming for you, say.
But yeah, it was a time because they were just like, I know that this is a thing that you have been very reluctant to do for a very long time. Not necessarily for bad reasons either, but we're gonna have to do the capitalism today. And I'm like, all right.
I begrudgingly do the capitalism.
Yeah,
Begrudge.
I was the idiot who didn't know what the capitalism was when I engaged in all that shit.
The first time I engaged in anything involving credit cards was when I was 18. Well, not even when I was 18, but I was still in high school. And if you know anything about when you were in high school, you ain't know shit about this. They were just like, hey, here's a credit card. You can absolutely have one of these. To a group of a demographic of people that have nearly zero financial literacy unless they come from a place of generational wealth. Why would you do that? And my friend was just like, I want to go and get things for the prom. So I'm just like, I can help with that. I have this credit card for this.
Charge
and
it!
So the story began.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got that situation sorted out after like literal prayer, I was kind of like, you know what? That's fine. And Kevin, when I say literal prayer, there is a whole story about that. I meant that. Like I had a whole Jeff the moment. And if you've read that story, you know what I'm talking about. So that being said, we got through that and I'm just like, okay, that's it. Like we're out here and we're clear of that and we will not be touching that again. And I have not even looked at an application for that thing in like 20 something years until literally yesterday.
Oh yeah, I'm a big credit. I'm a big advocate of credit, and I have had media credit and financial literacy because my mom basically says like, here's the best things you need to do, son. One, learn about 0% financing, and then pay that and have the money to be able to pay that thing off. You don't have the money to pay for it, you don't buy it on credit. Guess how that works out? Because guess what? You're either gonna pay the whole thing or we're gonna pay the equal amount of finance things for it. Don't buy nothing you can't afford. Turns out I could afford it, and I did, and I paid off the bill. But it was just kind of like, you bought a lot of stuff with this credit. And I'm like, yes, but I can afford to pay it off, mother. It just allowed me the freedom to be able to live my best life, but know that I know good and damn well not to buy anything that I couldn't afford. Because my mom was like, you got it, son. And I'm like, meaning you can fuck up if you want to because you got it, son. And I did. And yeah.
But you have to be careful because if you fuck around too much, you will find out when it comes to these credit things.
Truly, I say to you, yep.
Yeah, hi, I'm Marcus.
Yep.
I had credit. Then I lost my job.
Mm-hmm. And then it was like
all those things I thought I could pay off, I suddenly couldn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Even with 0% financing.
That's why you always have to save it for a rainy day. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Again, credit literacy.
Didn't have that.
What if I have a job today, but what if I don't have one tomorrow? Let me pump the brakes on a few things.
Yes, Merge. Also that the worst is when you have the money when you made the purchase, but life before the bill was due.
This is true.
Yep.
This is true.
Yep. Life is still life and all that shit's in collections.
Mm.
So glad they do not throw you in jail for that shit. So look,
Ain't no debtors prisons no more.
yeah, so look, I ain't got it. So you know what? Cool. Do whatever you got to do. I don't need to buy nothing anyway. That's what they try to say. Well, it's going to fuck up your credit. I have a house and a car and everything I need or want. It's an empty threat. Not scared of you, capitalism. Taking everything from me.
Oh, it wasn't an empty threat. It was a fangless threat.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. It wasn't empty. It's just that, yeah, for me, it's like, oh, you bit me? you bit me? Is that a bite?
You're not poisoned, but you're bit, and your arm swole up.
What?
And it's like, ow. But they did that shit.
Jackie, the one time you come in and say something, you just gonna sit there, just try to bust my bubble? I don't appreciate that, sir. But look,
Jackie really did hit you with the well, actually.
Exactly, and I'm not okay with this. Not okay with this at all. I'm not okay. I am not okay. I cannot believe you did this, Jackie. I thought we were cool.
Jackie came out from the top rope. From the top rope.
I thought we were cool. We came from Twitter together.
Doesn't exist.
we came from Twitter together into Mastodon. This is how you do me?
I say Jackie came from the top rope, tapped his elbow, and said, "Debtor's prison exists."
This motherfucker up here is just like fucking tuxedo masked meme, dog.
It said, "My job is done."
My job is done.
like fucking Skeletor.
Until we meet again.
Like, remember, Delta's jail still exists until we meet again. Like, fuck you, dude. That's right. I know about my girly animes, dog. Well, that's about the only one. That's the only one. Next up on that list of girly animes that I know is like Cardcaptor Sakura, and then that's where it stops.
Yes, that
I watched a shit ton of fucking Sailor Moon though.
Yeah, that is his name. That is his name, Jackie.
Oh my god.
Until we meet again.
Oh my god. So we're ready to get into some news here.
Yes.
Of course, this week we've got Automattic doing a capitalism because AI is just too much to avoid. TikTok is being threatened by the U.S. Congress once again.
Shocker.
And some companies have actually left the embrace in a good way. All that and more this week on Tech Talk Thursdays. Let's get into it instead of dangerous. Blank screen, because of course, video games are played. There we go. So starting off this week, Automattic isn't protecting users' choice when it comes to general, generative AI. Last week, they made an announcement that, hey, if you are on WordPress.com or Tumblr, we're going to send your data over to companies to train their generative AI products. Because that's cool, right? That's how we can make money and keep things kind of free for people who want to use our products. That's cool. You want that, right? We're okay with that? Huh? Nobody?
Boo!
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, definitely. It set the world on fire. It went so bad that WordPress did have to come back out, or Automattic, the company who owns WordPress.com and Tumblr, had to come back up and say, hey, if you do not want your data collected, this is where they gave you instructions on how to opt out of having your data collected.
Do we need to have that discussion?
I think we do sin because apparently in the year of our Lord 2024, people still do not grasp the concept of, opt out should not be the default.
Talk to them.
Yeah, so just so we're clear here, opting out opting out of anything should not be the default. Opt-in should always be it. If you are importing my data from one place to another, opt-in should be the option. Give me the choice to say, hey, I don't mind my data going to a place. Do not ever make that assumption fucking for me, because it's never going to go well.
Well, here's the thing. Just don't make assumptions. Let people, the thing is, the things, when it comes to me, both physically and virtually, consent is a thing. You should do the things that I ask for. Thank you.
Right. That's right.
And never the things I don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and that's all. Just, if I didn't ask you to do that, don't do that, because I did not ask you.
Sure as hell didn't.
But yes, of course, they're never going to do it, because how will they make the money if everybody just all of a sudden opts out when you give them the option to make the money? To which at that point, if that's a problem, if that's a question you have, maybe don't do that thing. If people aren't going to be on board of it.
I think some of it is also just experimental features that that people would have an issue with. For example, hey, do you want this to record all of the conversations that you're having so we can train our machine learning models? No, I don't. Do not opt me into that. Don't have me opt out of that. Do not turn that on. I didn't ask you to do that.
Don't make me opt in from the first place.
Do you want to be a person who is subject to the calling feature on Twitter?
Oh, that's a little thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Let me step down from my moral superiority of not being on Twitter.
That part.
Anyway, and I mean the Earth in general, not Twitter specifically. I'm tired of the whole thing. Pack it up. Get me out of here.
But merge. They do have teeth, but it's just not for the capitalist system. Because who is the FTC to stand in the way of progress? Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. It wasn't in the way of progress. Who is FTC to stand in the way of companies making money? Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I mean, who's to stop a CEO from saying, hey, you know what? They'll enjoy cereal for breakfast.
Other one.
For dinner.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I do also enjoy cereal for breakfast and dinner. It wasn't a false statement for him to make about me specifically, but it did make me upset. It did make me upset when he said that.
It uniquely pisses me off that this was a response to people cannot afford things more than cereal. Cereal is a wonderful thing to have for dinner. You want to know what else is wonderful for people to have for every other meal of the day? Money. Run these people their checks. What do you mean? It's giving that one CEO dude from Australia.
Not one. Mm-hmm. How about all of them from everywhere? That one was just dumb enough to say the quiet part out loud.
And that is why I referred to that one specifically.
Oh. But still, not a lot of them are changing their tunes. A lot of them have started to sit there and say the quiet part out loud because they know they can get away with it now.
They had to issue a whole backtrack on that statement. I'm so nah, still point it's like that dude and Yolanda Saldivar or whatever. Those two are the people that you just gotta wait outside the door with chocolates ready to clap them right in the nose.
Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with the second one.
Have you heard of a certain a songstress from the Tex-Mex genre known as Selena?
Oh yeah, Yolanda. Yeah. Well, yeah. Major ain't gonna know.
I've
But
heard of
yeah.
Basically
Selena.
speaking,
Yeah.
like Selena. Basically, the for all practical purposes, to use terms that you would easily be able to recognize, the the Latina version of Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
She had that
Yes.
much. She had that much reach and cultural impact,
Yes.
and the way the rest of that story goes,
Yeah.
this woman went to jail for damn near life behind that, and she is almost like she is like a like less than a year before she finally gets out of prison for what she did, and everybody's just kind of like,
Girl, don't come back.
I need you to understand that we're gonna run you a fade, because they had the nerve to say we're gonna make a documentary so she can tell her side of the story about what
When
happened.
when little Latinx girls dress up as Selena and like use Yolanda's picture as like as a piñata for their birthday parties, girl, you know. You
You already
know.
know.
Oh,
You already
You
know.
already know you're
this,
not welcome.
This sounds like Haiti's current prime minister, who's not allowed back into Haiti because the gangs will get him.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, y'all didn't hear about that?
No, I heard about it. But it's like,
News.
yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
Oh, I heard about that.
Ooh, the gangs of Haiti are like, yeah, dog, step foot back in the country, motherfucker.
I dare you. I double dog dare you.
They just
I
like, go
triple
ahead,
dog
see
dare
what happens.
This
Go
motherfucker,
ahead, you
the
bad.
motherfucker
bad.
the motherfucker is in Puerto Rico. He left Haiti to go to Kenya to go get military police from Kenya to help out with the situation in Haiti. But he ain't made it back to Haiti yet.
Hold on. You said to help out with a situation? What situation were they helping with?
Well, they assassinated the democratically elected leader, or
Yeah.
he disappeared. I think they did. I think it did come out that they killed him. And,
No, he was assassinated.
okay.
He was assassinated.
And the U.S. installed this current prime minister.
Who left?
Well, they installed him. They didn't vote for this motherfucker. He's just this is your leader now.
Right.
And then when shit got bad, he went to Kenya and said, "Hey, can y'all send some people over to help us?
He went to Kenya.
To quell this rebellion."
He went to Kenya. He was installed by the United States, and then he was at Kenya. United States was like, I don't know if we can help you, dog.
Oh no, they helped that. They facilitated that.
Yeah,
the U.S. facilitated that. So look, we can't send you troops, but Kenya might.
Kenya might. You can ask them. Though we installed you. They were like, Kenya might. Kenya, you got us.
He got 1,000 troops, but again, I don't know if any of them will be able to land unless they fucking they parachute them down there.
Kenya, can you do something for me?
Pretty much.
But yeah, when I heard that the gangs of Haiti were trying to hold shit down there. Oh, also, by the way, the U.S. is asking the dude to resign too. They put him there, and now they're asking him to resign.
Who ran? Gotcha.
Did they? Well, hold on for a moment. Wait. I'm gonna stop you right there because I know that we're not over here being like, y'all gonna have to come get this man because he's running when Teddy Rafael Cruz is out here in the streets.
Oh, you mean Freddy Cruz? Yeah.
But he wasn't going to do something. I will at least give Haiti man a plus because he went out and did something.
What I'm saying is the U.S. doesn't have room to talk about people leaving their post, and this is a reason that you should fire them when things like that have happened. That is what I'm saying here.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah.
There, that answers that one. And plus, does the U.S. really have control of Texas? They've talked about seceding. They talk about seceding like every 6 months.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
and they're big enough to do it.
Well, like, they're big enough to do it, but it's also giving a black mom in this situation to be like, okay, but are you going in or out the house? Because you can't keep like talking about going outside and then staying in the house, or swinging the door open and closed when you feel like it. You don't pay bills around here.
You're doing a lot of talking, but you ain't doing a lot of doing. So, what you
I'm gonna
doing?
need you like get in or out. What are we doing?
Belt in hand, being like, say something.
And that's why his ass came back. He said, "No, I was just taking my daughters. See, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back to work. Yeah, yeah."
Yeah, my daughters want to go.
But yeah, so more about this WordPress thing. I did have to check because, of course, I'd be remiss if I did not mention that DCA does run off of WordPress. However, we run off of WordPress.org. This is an open source product, and therefore none of our shit gets imported into AI through the special pipe that Automattic is set up for Tumblr and WordPress.org and WordPress.com. However, there is some work I do need to do to keep just the regular spiders from crawling the site and collecting the data.
How do you feel though about it being like about the Fediverse being federated over to Meta?
Really? I wrote a whole article about that
Where did you write it, Major?
on Gesture Analyst. There's totally an article there that exists about how I feel about that.
Hey everybody, that's your commercial plug for the day. You're welcome.
It's a great piece, and I stand by the words that I've said there.
What and where was there spice? Were there seasonings? Were
Possibly.
there flavors?
Possibly.
I feel like it was.
Because if there wasn't, I'm going to be upset.
Well, you should read it. You should read it. Give me your thoughts on how I feel about that. But speaking of Meta, we do have some Meta news. And the fact that they too beat the shit out of NSO. You know, I am here. I do not sit there and stand with Meta on a lot of things.
No.
But if you are sitting there delivering L's to the NSO group, go Meta.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are not aware, the NSO group created the spyware program called Pegasus. Now, initially, we will report that that Pegasus was used on Android and iOS devices to sit there and hack the phones with just as little as sending a text message to the phone, and then that's it. It was that easy. What we did report on, because I did not know this until I wrote the article, was that Meta's not WordPress, excuse me, Meta's WhatsApp was also susceptible to Pegasus spyware. So Meta said, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to give me that source code so we can figure out how you hacked our shit." Of course, and I'm gonna mention this not for any particular reason. The Israeli company, the NSO group, said no, we're not gonna give it. But yet again, a judge in the US said, yes, you are going to give Meta your code. Now, understand that initially I'm very happy about this. Unfortunately, that went away when I realized that Meta will now have access to spyware code.
Yeah. It's like we saved the Tesseract, and like, yes, we made sure that the Tesseract is not in the hands of the bad villain. Who's holding the Tesseract? Loki. Fuck.
Now,
Roman does not have the Tesseract, but who does? Loki.
Now, if this was Apple, it's one thing. Google, okay, I'll be worried. But this is Meta. I am fucking terrified.
Because you know, I could definitely see like Apple and like or Google being like, yeah, we will sit on this and we will not use it because we do not want this. jamming up with our phones. But Facebook's like, we have no such, honor against not using this.
Like, yo, you remember when they said we were listening to them through their microphones? What if though?
Yeah.
What if?
Mm-hmm. It's like they don't need the spyware. They have these lovely listening devices where we ask what the weather is.
Not even that. It's just they install the app.
Yeah.
It's listening.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Yeah, it's like, yes, now I don't normally get behind big companies because capitalism will kill us all, but I will cheer on the civil liberties when, I mean, it's also against a state who is pioneering mass surveillance, and Meta will now have that code.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Oh my God. We can't win for losing in the capitalist state. Just so you know.
Of course not.
From Israel to China, from Facebook to TikTok. Yet again, TikTok is in the news about possibly being banned by the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme.
TikTok's about to get banned.
Or attempted.
So this one seems like it's a newer bill that's being introduced that's kind of sidestepping the whole, hey, this might be against First Amendment rights, because it's like, hey, if you have an app that's owned by an adversary of the US, China, all you would have to do is just divest from the country, China, and you could be cool again. It's all good. We don't care if you say that your servers are in the US and China doesn't have access to. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say China? I mean, the adversarial country has access to the data. They don't have access to the data. Just divest from the company that's in the adversarial country, China, and we'll be good. You can have TikTok.
He said adversary company. My lord.
Oh, I'm sorry. Country. Adversarial country. And I say adversarial country because, again, they don't want to isolate ByteDance, even though they were literally named in the bill. ByteDance is literally in the bill, but they were like, we don't mean just ByteDance. We mean any company that may be in, let's say, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. But that's a random assortment of countries, right?
Why Venezuela's not in there, but okay. Cover the bases.
They just hack our voting machines.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, just from the four countries: China, North Korea, Iran, and Russia. Look, don't. For example, a company like 8-Bit Tango will fall under this rule. I mean, technically, doesn't any app that may be published by Tencent?
I was just thinking that.
But yeah, I would. I implore people to really think about this because, of course, like there are a lot of reasons why, and they're all correct. Whether we can't wait for them to ban all Riot games in. I mean, yeah. So PUBG is gone.
Valorant League gone.
I mean, it's Riot.
No, I want you to know
This is specific games.
the specific games. Valorant and League gone.
Also Epic Games Store and Fortnite. Well, Diogen, I didn't get a chance to write that one. That might come in next week. But according to Apple, Epic won't come into the game. Well, Epic isn't coming to us anyway. But yeah, but we can name all the reasons why this is happening. Of course, you've got the whole TikTok specifically giving us information as to what's happening in the ground in Palestine and why everybody apparently hates Israel now. Or the fact that, hey, we're actually getting verifiable information about what our own government is doing at home. How bad capitalism is, even though people don't understand what it is about capitalism that they're mad about, but they know they're mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, the cost here is going up. And this Kellogg CEO is telling us we can eat cereal for dinner. I don't know why I'm angry at this dude, but I'm angry at him. And nobody is stopping him. Why am I angry? What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And like for me in this article, I mentioned, hey, think about it. How many of these countries were at one point communist or adjacent to communism? Or just for the sake of argument, not willing to let Western imperialism fuck up their countries? I'd say all four of them. There's 4 countries on that list, period, and 4 countries on that list that aren't letting Western imperialism fuck up their day. So of course there'd be adversaries to the United States, and the US will say anything to make them look bad. Like, again, whatever you've heard about China, yeah, it ain't true, dog. Whatever you've heard about North Korea, it ain't true, dog. The US fucked them up. And then they point at it and say, see, look how bad they are. They can't feed their people. Why?
Interesting.
I'm
sure they were doing that just a little bit ago. What happened?
You mean Palestine? Oh, look how bad Palestine is. They can't feed their children. We have to drop aid in instead of drive the trucks through. But why? Why is that?
Well, can I have a suggestion here. I have an answer to the question.
Go on.
It's because every time they have a meeting about how to prevent that issue, someone from the US does this and then the wrong direction.
Oh, Could it possibly be that the US is the only one who's doing that at a certain time?
If the UK weren't also present in the room, yes.
Oh yeah, because the UK's just turned bitch mode, right? It's like, sorry, mates, I can't do this.
Not that I said Lord. Okay.
Sorry.
Someone come get Ankh, please. All right. Someone come get him.
Oh, Diogen, we know. Oh, we know. Again, because TikTok taught us that.
UK drew the maps.
That is true.
Of course they're interested in it. They drew the maps. They said this goes here, this goes there. We're gonna put these people here. That's it. They drew the maps.
Actually, what they said was, what you're not about to do is take clout off of our cartography. You won't do that.
So when
you won't be out here the sole beneficiary of our recipes. You won't do that.
So when I'm all like, oh man, gee, I wonder what the UK is going to be involved in. And I'm like, they drew the maps.
They didn't do it because they like cartography.
They did it because Freaking, have you ever seen Lawrence of Arabia? That a man just says, "I'm a Bedouin tribesman, and I'm going to lead you Bedouins to war against the Ottomans." And whatever was left of the Ottomans, they drew the maps. This is Iraq. This is Iran. This is Syria. This is where Israel's going to be. This is where Palestine's going to be. Done. Our job is done, and left.
They must have been drunk because they put Israel and Palestine on top of each other, and that's what's going on.
Right.
So wait, didn't we name this country Palestine? Nah, let's just call it Israel.
Sorry, yeah. They just said, yep. They just cut that in half and just said, yep. And people were like, I need another place for my deck. There you go.
Remember, you've turned into game where you've turned into status where I'm playing game.
Yep. But like I say, drew the maps, and yet, come on now. Yep.
Oh, now it's officially time to announce you have tuned into counter programming of the State of the Union. We're talking about the things that.
Hold on for a moment. Unions.
Now, I want to remind everybody that this is a tech podcast. So before we really jump into like socio-political things, can we also,
which we often
talk
do,
about a tech? Can we also get back to the problem of doing a tech podcast? I know I kind of jumped in with the whole they drew the maps thing, but I want to reiterate the fact that we are a tech podcast. So I think we need to go ahead and talk about our tech podcast, Cameron, please. Thank you.
I'm going to insert this one small thing about tech things. Hi, you're a resident DC analyst, op-ed writer. Here's the thing. One of the things that happens a lot is we start talking about technology for a bit, and it's kind of like, have you ever heard the theory about Wikipedia that you always end up in exactly 2 subject areas if you like pick anything on Wikipedia and you follow it about 6 relationships down, and you will end up at one of 2 places?
Yeah.
It's that, but with tech to world issues. Like, it's one of those, they just came out with brand new piece of tech that racism.
Right.
Brand new piece of tech that imperialism.
Yeah.
Do you remember last year where we were talking about, I don't know about these cute little things where they're like testing these little robot dogs to jump up with and trying to convince people that they're cute, and being like, all it would take for them was to mount a weapon to, and now they are out there doing that exact thing. And guess where, of all places?
It was at one point where even I was like, I'm excited about this piece of tech. Let me show it to Sid to make sure it passes the vibe check. But now, look at where I am. It's like, no, you don't. I have learned.
Yes.
Oh.
And then Cycle says, it is impossible to talk about tech without talking about politics sometimes. If they were not at all intertwined, we really wouldn't have too much to talk about.
Right. And this is true. But we do have stuff to talk about.
But I will say, Kevin does have a point in that we do have the rest of our show notes to go through, so we should probably
that's what I'm saying.
that.
If we were a podcast of like 4 topics, and we had to think we were a thing of like 4 topics, mostly with tech and world issues, sure. But I've looked at the list. We have a lot to talk about, and it's already 9:00.
Don't forget we started late.
I know, but let's keep going. Even more.
For a moment, hold on for a moment. You said we started late. Okay, right, everybody, I need you to look at your screen. Look at your screen. If you count, there are 1, 2, 3 counts of melanin in court. Like, we weren't. It's a wrap over here. But anyway, let us get back to the show notes. Actually, let me go look up the show notes. Where are they?
This might be a situation where I forgot to post them again.
Oh, okay.
HP finally did it. They've turned the printer into a subscription.
And that was wild.
For $6.99 a month, you could get this. You could get a HP Envy that'll allow you to print up to 20 pages and get ink and tech support.
One thing, one thing about me though is I have a lot of subscriptions. But what I will not do and what I won't do is subscribe to something to print something maybe once or twice a year, if that, a couple times out of the year, 4 at the most. I absolutely refuse to do so.
I will admit I was an HP fan
Same.
initially. It worked with Linux, but it worked with Linux fairly well.
I'm finding that I'm gonna be looking into that to that Shag printer, the Eco Tank. Just pour the ink in there.
Jackie, look, I thought brother was still around. When I posted the story earlier, somebody said brother won by literally doing nothing.
Oh yeah, brother is still out there. Yeah. By literally just being a printer company and nothing else, brother won. Brother said, we're gonna make office machines and fax machines and copiers, and we're good.
Yeah. I had a brother once. It broke and it was fine. I don't know what happened to it. I don't print, so I don't really check on my printer. I hate printers.
Oh yeah. If you're in tech support, you definitely hate printers.
And like at this point, like I have an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. If I need to sign something, I'm just gonna pull it up, sign it on my iPad, and send it back. There's no need for me to print.
Yeah.
I only have a printer because my wife is a social worker and she needs to print shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she refuses to use her iPad and Apple Pencil to sign shit. So she will print things out, rescan it, and then send it. Which,
I'm done.
Whatever.
I do that too.
No.
If it's like e-sign, I'm like yes. If it's like e-sign, sure, I'll do that. If it's like
no, I mean they need my actual signature. I will say, look, draw on this PDF, put my signature on it, save the new PDF, and then we'll send it to them.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Oh yeah.
But of course, nowadays everything is like e-sign. So he's like, you click a button, type your name, and then, oh no, we've made this signature for you. Thank you, DocuSign.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so HP's all-in plan allows you to subscribe to a HP Envy, an HP Envy Inspire, or an HP Office Jet Pro with varying degrees of pages that you can print. Of course, it is a subscription, so if you don't want it anymore, for 30 days, if you decide you don't want the printer, you can send it back, no questions asked. But after 30 days, you do have to pay a termination fee for a fucking printer.
Fuck out of here with that shit.
And I imagine this termination fee, this $120 is more than the fucking HP Envy 6020E. So why? On top of all of this, if you try to ask HP, do I own the printer or is this a rental? HP is like, hey, you can subscribe to this program and turn it in within 30 days if you don't like it. They don't answer the question. You do not know whether you own or rent the printer because after 2 years, you're eligible for an upgrade like a fucking cell phone.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the thing. It was like basically, do I own it? You could turn it back in.
Is this a rental?
You could turn it back in.
There you go. See,
like they're not telling you it's either. They're telling you it's a subscription fee. It's the equivalent. It is literally the equivalent of whenever you have cable TV and you have the boxes.
No, it's rooms to go.
Yeah.
No, I at least get to own my couch.
No, it's not even ruin. It's not even. I mean,
wait, do you mean like rent a center?
Yeah, it's not even rent a center.
No, like rooms to go. No, you are buying the furniture. This furniture ain't going nowhere. Let's say repo.
Rent a center is like that. It's like no, you basically it's in your house. You pay for it, and then when you don't want to pay for it anymore, you send the couch back. It's not even that.
Yeah, because at least they will tell you. It's a rental, or you have
Yeah.
or you have a chance of owning it.
Right. There is no rent. There is no rent. Like, you basically say, "Oh, I'm just gonna get it for like 3 days and I'm gonna send it back." No, that's not even that. You basically, if you need to use a couch, when you don't want to use the couch, you have to send the couch back.
Okay,
Like,
here's the thing. Takala's over here talking about
Close to a lease.
if you decided to open
Exactly.
and modify a Tesla, Elon could sue you for copyright infringement. And all I can think is, Elon, all you have to do is make a car with working brakes, working doors, working steering wheels, working signals, working tires.
Tesla is a software company. Tesla's a software company.
I mean, it is. And I rest my case because people wouldn't be over here trying to fix those things if they worked.
Or the fact that, again, when you buy the software, it's not like, hey, we give you permission. We lease this permission to you to use the software and we can revoke it at any time.
Yep.
Yes, Tesla is a terrible software company.
Yes.
Someone said something online about the way that this whole thing like got me thinking about the concept of ownership in general, and how someone was just like, I saw a person that goes by the name Raising Self on Instagram. They were just like, it is very likely that in however many years from now, people will know more about the things that happened in the 1980s than they do in what happens in the current time.
Oh, yeah.
Because so much of what's in the current time is digital. So there are like so few physical copies of it that whole like periods of time are going to be evaporated in terms of what happened here. No one's gonna know.
Mm-hmm. Because there's so much like hard copy, tape copies, reprints.
Yeah, like look at what happened to CNET. Well, look what happened to Vice.
Yep.
Yeah, nah, I'm good. I will gladly pay for more storage. Storage gets cheap. Why throw it out?
You just add to it.
I mean, yes, I would say that storage is cheap now.
Like, now, of course, now.
I would say that it is cheap, relatively speaking. I just can't afford it still.
I think about
Major's gonna be like, this is what you use your credit card on. Storage.
Yeah.
I think about it, and I think about it a lot, but I think about Ready Player, not too much, but Ready Player One, where it's just like Wade is just like playing, like in the time of the Oasis, he's still playing like emulated games on his laptop of old retro 80s games, 80s and 90s games on a laptop, on a near broken laptop. And that's so vibrant to me, because they're going to just be like, when are we going to be able to, like, why do we need to play these old games? We have the Oasis now. Like, why do we need to play this? Why do we need to play these old games? We have Series X now. We have PlayStation 5 now. Why want to play the old games?
Tell Nintendo that.
Nintendo can fuck off. And yeah, I said it.
I ain't say you were wrong.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, I wouldn't be known, because like I say, I'm big on. I mean, I don't want this to bleed into like the other thing that we might have to talk about, but I'll probably say my biggest venom for on both sides. But yeah, as far as game preservation, Nintendo ain't it. But anyway, boo HP for this shitty ass behavior, because I'll just get Canon now. Or brother. I don't know. Might get a brother.
This one's for me. This is a personal article. As you can see, I am the main image here. This is a personal article that I would like to sit there and say, thank you, Apple. Maybe, I don't know, because now they put the onus on the devs of the apps to actually fix it. But hey, Apple did release some code in iOS 17.4 and macOS 14.4 that should give the developers the ability to turn off camera reactions. So therefore, in your therapy sessions, well, no, because if it's built into a browser, I'm pretty sure Chrome, Firefox, or Safari are going to disable it by default. because no. But at least like maybe in Zoom calls, if you were to put up a double thumbs up or a peace or even vaguely gesture to any of the 14 gestures that you can make, things like the fireworks will not appear behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, like I said, it is it is up to the developers of the apps to make those changes. And yes, my therapy, like when I go for therapy, it is in a browser, so I have a feeling I will still have to deal with this until I figure out a way to turn it off. And I will never think about it until I'm in the middle of therapy and then put a thumbs up. It is very, very super random. And it's funny the first time. It is fucking annoying every other time.
Mm-hmm.
Another story from Apple. DI repairs are coming to the M3 Max. So yeah, if you bought a new laptop recently, you can repair it. Or an iMac. If you bought the iMac, you can repair it. Also, because again, I'm going to talk about this too. The M3 MacBook Airs came out this week, and I thought about covering it. I thought about writing an article about it, but I said no, mainly because of the fact that again, hey Kev, just as a warning, this is about to get geopolitical again.
Okay.
I don't want to have to sit there and like, I don't know, maybe I will one day and put a disclaimer. Hey, just so you know, all of your tech shit is coming through Congo, is exploiting Congolese men, women, and children. People are dying over there, either from guns or the mines. And capitalism is running rampant through that country like a motherfucker. But it's like, I could talk about new products, but do I really need to?
Mm-hmm.
I know I have two people who will talk about new hardware when they get them. I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't have to talk about the new MacBooks. Yeah. I know I literally wrote about the M3 MacBook Pro, but that was also before attention was brought to literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to say a whole week before shit went down in Palestine.
I think we're at that place in tech where we're just like, or in society where we're just like, I don't have to talk about anything in tech, like, you know, like as we used to, because like say the stuff was news, and I think we can always talk about the social consciousness of tech and being like, hey, consider the fact that your phone, your tablet, your laptop is probably made with conflict materials, you know. And to be conscious about that effort and conscious of that fact, and giving on offering places of being like both socially conscious about being excited about tech, but then also socially conscious about tech. And I feel like also we can also still have things that we could talk about and celebrate in tech, like Meta's like win against NSO, and then tout about right to repair, and then poo-poo the different decisions of companies and corporations being like, yeah, that's good with what you did here, but you also fucked up twice last week. And we also need to make that into attention. Celebrate the good, talk about the bad.
And that's why I didn't feel too bad about not covering the MacBook Airs this week. Because it was like, I have enough to talk about as it is.
Mm-hmm.
As my bottle falls to the floor. I have enough to talk about as it is. Mm-hmm. To where it's like, this is clearly like, hey, new product, that's it. Like, yeah, I'm good with that. I'm fine. I would rather talk about right to repair because it's us being able to fix our old products to not contribute to this perpetual cycle. Mm-hmm. We just get to reuse the things we already have.
Right. And y'all know of many hills and you know, like many things that I love is right to repair is definitely one of them, because I want people to not have to contribute to all this extra this consistent need of newer later devices that only just perpetuate a greater need for conflict materials. And then also being like, do you actually need that new iPhone every year? Can you deal with it maybe by, instead of every generation, by every other generation? Couldn't developers make more affordable, you know, devices from older hardware with, you know, with better specs from like basically take flagships or cut down M1s or, you know, silicon, and then add those to maybe more cost effective.
Well, that's called binning
iPhones.
at that point.
Yeah,
That's what binning is.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Also, after learning about Boeing today, I don't know if I want them to reuse old devices and try to make them new.
But no, I'm fine with phones doing that, but I'm not fine with planes doing that.
Yeah, I watched.
I want to. Yeah, I too watched last week tonight. I don't want them to recycle a plane.
Yeah. I see where you're going, but I don't know. It didn't have great results.
But see, I want you to understand that I'm talking about consumer tech, not planes.
Yeah, when I try to make that same argument about, you know, sending push notification or push updates to Teslas, and how I get this one guy who was always like, but isn't it safer and, like, you know, faster just to get a recall update like at your house instead of having to go to the... No, it's a car.
It's a car, baby.
It's a car, not a phone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Nah, if it's too dangerous for me to drive, you need to send a technician out to fix my car at my house.
Right.
What the fuck is the software? Like, again, you mess up the chain in that shit. Tesla is not impervious to hacks.
No.
Oh my God. Every time I write about that, and it's like, still pushing updates to a car. Like, no, that's not.
So what we talked about earlier before we start the show is I'm like, look, I said what I said, and I meant that, and you can have your ability about it, but I'm telling you, right, I'm standing 10 toes down. That's not the right thing to do, my friend. Now you can go ahead and argue on the other side of this mute. Like, mute.
Please leave your message at the beep.
Beep.
No, there was not going to be a beep. They were just going to sit there and wait for it.
Oh, I see what you did there. I approve.
Moving on here, Microsoft is shutting down Android for Windows 11 next year.
The one thing that I wanted to try Windows 11 for.
Now you've waited too long.
I'm fine.
I mean, it was 3 years, Jackie. It was 3 years.
I mean, yeah, but I'm like, you know, Windows 10 is good. I'd rather not. And then you were having your issues with Windows 11, and I was like,
that was briefly. Yeah. Everything's been great since then.
I'll wait till the first service pack.
I want to say that should be out by now. I think we're like 2 or 3 in at this point.
I feel like it needs. I feel like it needs to marinate a little bit more. Put a little more poultry seasoning on that.
What do you mean?
A little bit more poultry seasoning, my lord.
What do you mean?
Now you got to. With Microsoft, you got to wait.
I feel like you were underutilizing that 3080 Ti on Windows 10.
Dog, let me tell you something.
DirectX 12, man. Come on. Direct storage.
Tell me
I'm gonna
something.
let you know. I play Wildflowers. I play Roots of Pacha, and I play Stardew Valley.
So when I say that you're underutilizing a 3080
Ti,
Ti,
underutilized, bro. This is already underutilized. The only thing that it gets taxing is Fortnite. And that's Fortnite. Bro, it's already being underutilized. It's gonna live forever because it's gonna light work all the things, bro.
We're gonna live forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be his retirement. It's right now. It's playing shuffleboard and enjoying a good life right now.
Kev's gonna be able to
Shuffle.
Kev is gonna be able to resell his 3080 Ti. They're like, so what did you do? Oh, I played Wildflowers in Stardew Valley
Right.
on it.
They're
Oh,
gonna
so you
say-
mean you've never used it?
Right. I'm like I say, it could have gone to like a mining facility. It could have been in somebody's like shed somewhere, garage mining Bitcoin. No, it's comfortably sitting in my computer, well ventilated, dusted out every month, and it plays less stressful games. I think the only like stressful game I played was like Tales of Arise. And that was it. Maybe Persona later.
I'm
It's
definitely gonna say
playing-
Fortnite. And there's also Starfield.
And Starfield, that was like when it was like, oh, ooh, this might be a little
That was before DLSS.
yeah, that guy's a little blood pumping. Yeah, it was before DLSS. It got a little blood pumping there. So it's like, dog, it's already underutilized.
Redfall for no reason.
Yeah, for like 2 hours.
It was enough.
It was enough. It was literally enough.
It was enough.
It's like, yeah, it gets to play golf every day. Exactly, Dialjet. It's relaxing. It's on the lanai sipping lemonade. It's having its best retirement life. I told Merge, I said, thank you, Merge, but I thank you, Merge, and I appreciate you. It's a generous offer, but dog, it is not gonna play any. It's probably just gonna be playing a lot of like 2D farming sims.
Well, don't forget that space one's coming out on Game Pass. The one with the mechs.
Oh yeah. I played that on it.
There you go. That'll do it.
Gorgeous.
That'll do it.
Gorgeous. It had like a little hiccupiness.
That'll do it.
But I think it was mostly because it was just a demo. I feel like once because I think that typically happens. It was like a little hitchiness where it was like, ooh, just a little hitchy. And then it kind of then it smoothed out, and I was like, "Oh, this is good now." But it was a demo, so it was an early demo, so I can't be like, a couple of updates. It got smoother, so I think it just needed a little updates, and so it's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna like later this month. It's gonna be like farming with a mech, which I'm looking forward to.
I'm farming with a mech. I just can't wait for Diablo 4. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that too. That's probably when it's going to get the workout too. When Diablo 4 comes out. 'Cause I am going to try it, because I do like me a good I like me a good dungeon crawler.
Yeah, so back to this here. Microsoft is shutting down Android for Windows 11 next year. So yeah, 3 years after it kind of showed up, it's going away. I guess it just wasn't doing the numbers they wanted it to do. So Microsoft and Amazon are going away from Windows 11.
I give them props for at least making the attempt.
They saw Apple, what they were doing with the M series, and it's like, oh yeah, we got to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, no, this isn't the same.
It just didn't do for the long run.
I think they would have done better if they were able to get Google Play, but I really think Google was not interested in doing that because Google was doing their own thing. With Google Play games, you were able to just install those games onto your computer without having to go through all of this shit. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Windows subsystem for Android, we hardly knew you. But hey, if you want to do this again, I mean, there's always BlueStacks.
I mean, yeah, it's always BlueStacks.
Have fun though.
As somebody who has tried to play Shop Titans, was it Shop Titans? Shop Titans before the Steam version came out and played. Yeah, it's possible. It's not the best, but it's possible.
Have fun.
Yeah, go off.
And now into official gaming territory. Today, you just learned about BlueStacks?
Ooh.
I envy your life.
I envy you too. I envy you too. What does it feel like? Tell me about it. Do tell.
It tries to get it running on the deck. That is also a thought I had, and then I was like, "Oh yes, I remember BlueStacks. Fuck that."
No, I don't know about that now.
Hey,
I'm gonna
you
let you
right.
cook
You
with
right,
that.
Jackie. You put me on the things. All right, I get you. I get you. I get you. I do not recommend using BlueStacks. Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that.
Nah.
So Microsoft wants to bridge the gap, or wants to bridge the super resolution gap. You know how we were talking just 5 minutes ago, that hey, we were playing Starfield with FSR2, and then they had to patch in DLSS on Starfield. And there are plenty of games that do that, where they launch with one technology and then they got to patch in the other. They've got to remember to do one or the other. Well, Microsoft says, no. What if you just use one API and all of the technologies will be available to you? Enter Super SR, or Direct SR, which is Direct Super Resolution, which will utilize all of the technologies from Intel's XeSS, NVIDIA's DLSS, and AMD's FSR. What you do as a developer is you just, hey, I want to use the Direct SR API in my game, plug it into DirectX, and DirectX will figure out, based on the hardware, which super resolution technology you should use without you having to do all of the guesswork, or without the developer having to do all the guesswork. Kev, how does that make you feel? That you will be able to play a game, maybe, possibly, because your games don't really go past a certain technological limitation, but to be able to play a game like Starfield, and it just already knows which super resolution technology it's going to use.
Cool, because I was looking at the video of somebody using FSR to play Alan Wake on, I think it was like 10 on the 1060 and the 10 on the 1060. I'm assuming it was the 6 gig and a 1080 Ti, and they were getting with like, and they were getting up with like medium to high frames, like 40. And I was like, that's because Alan Wake 2 is very, very demanding on current gen or previous, or like higher tier previous gen. So to see that going,
baby.
yeah, them shaders were shading for real. And to see it running at like 30 to 40 frames, solid. Not a bad deal. Like breathing life into older hardware for peeps who may not have the money to truly upgrade, but want to play the newest and latest game. So that's what I like to see.
That wasn't a story that we covered, but yeah, they did lower the minimum spec for Alan Wake 2, which is like, you could do that. You could do that.
Yeah,
what?
But apparently you can do that. Do they? Not often. But do they though? Not often.
I mean, it was also weird when Cyberpunk also increased minimum spec when 2.0 came out. So wait, y'all could just be doing this? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
It's literally, we can do this. Do we? Not often. Should we? Yeah. Because like I say, you want it to run on, like, I know you can't go so far back. Like, you can't go like 7 and 9 and whatever else. You got to go, 10 maybe. But if you're looking at like 10 series, sure. You want to breathe some light in it. If we're looking at about on the AMD side, if you're looking at an RX 4070 or 4080, or the you want to allow that the the highest, basically the more available cards on the Steam hardware chart, and allow people who have like older systems to be able to still play the games and have access. So down for it.
Toys for Bob took its ball and became indie.
We love to see that. I love to see that. I love to see that.
After
I want to see that become a regularly occurring thing.
Oh boy,
I want to see like the layoff chart like this, and the studios being like, "Fuck all that," and becoming indie go like this.
Boy, do I have news for you. To get through this first. So yes, Toys for Bob was they were initially independent. They were picked up by Activision. Of course, Activision was picked up by Microsoft, and then Microsoft laid off 1,900 people, mainly from Activision Blizzard. Unfortunately, 86 people from Toys for Bob were also laid off. To which I hope Toys for Bob kind of brings them back now that they're indie. They have struck a deal with Microsoft to say, you know what, fuck it, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And they're living their best indie life. Hopefully they're living their best indie life now.
Yeah.
Of course, there are worries that, they won't be able to make Crash or Spyro anymore. But as soon as they went indie, they went back to Microsoft and said, hey, what if we, had a strategic partnership where we remain indie, but we still make things for you? So maybe they're not done with Crash and Spyro just yet.
Which, that'd be nice. Because I'm like, that's kind of how it was before the whole... I mean, you'd have like a couple of studios under the umbrella of basically like, hey, we love Sony, we love the Sony architecture, we love PlayStation architecture. We're gonna make games for you. We're gonna make games.
I believe what they were called second party studios.
Yeah, second party studios. Yeah, like Naughty Dog would be, and Sucker Punch, Somniac. Oh yes. But that was kind of good because Sony would effectively publish it, and then it would just come out on the platform, and then so it'd be like, hey, we love your game, we love the games that you make, we're just gonna... and that was good for them to do. But now it's this whole like, hey guys, we're just buying up everybody, and then that's how you have issues like a Redfall. Bringing it back. I'm bringing it back.
I mean, not everybody fell into that.
Yeah, but I feel like you should just be able to like, hey, here's our game, we're gonna make it, you like it, that way allows studios to kind of like create the games that they're known for and the games that they're down to make, and then the publisher platform could be like, okay, we like it, or I don't know if that's really for us, dog, and then they can like, and then we're like, okay, cool, and then they can just kind of like shop it to other studios instead of it just being like, like game that, Destiny, Bungie was creating a game and then Sony canceled it because Sony, Sony doesn't realize that when you buy studios, they cost money and they have to make projects. So it allows like, the studio now, it allows the studio to have more freedom to be able to actually make the games that they're known for making, instead of them being like, well, Sony don't want it. Sony bought us, and now Sony just wants us to make live service games now. So, I'm sorry, I'm just reading the chat, but yes.
So yeah, Toys for Bob is now going indie. But of course, our favorite company that we love to hate for legitimate purposes.
Oh yeah.
Embracer.
Ugh.
Is getting smaller, but in a good way. So right here, so this involves both Gearbox and Saber Interactive. Gearbox is actually being sold to another company. They're in the final stages of the negotiation or whatever. Gearbox isn't saying anything as where they're going. But Saber Interactive spent where to go? $500 million to say, fuck you, Embracer. We are out this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going indie. Saber Interactive, another studio going indie, leaving the Embracer group before shit got bad. Or worse.
As they should, because sometimes you just got to be like, nah, fam, we got to get out. And I feel like Embracer, it's like when you like watch a movie and like it's like that one big deal. Like the company's got to like, guys, we got to make the one good big deal, and if we do this deal, it's gonna feed us for the rest of the year. We got to do it, guys.
Oh, like The Last Job.
Yeah,
like The Last Job, and we're done. We're out of this game. We're out of the game.
It's like the one. Yeah. It's like
it's giving Ocean's 13.
Right. It's like that one last heist, that one last score, and we're going to be set for life, and everything goes wrong. And it's exactly what happened with the Embracer Group. It's like they had that one big score with the Saudi company. They were gonna sell them off.
No. It wasn't a Saudi company. It was the Saudis. It was the government.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It was
the legit ops.
It was the Saudi of Arabia that did that, and they were like, I don't know, I think we need to save a couple billion in our pockets, kind of be like a little lean, eat a little leaner, cleaner now. Yeah, I don't think we can do it. I mean, we could afford it, but I promised my mama that I was gonna like buy less corporations. So yeah, I think
Ruin. They did that because during the pandemic, a whole bunch of people were playing video games and they saw them as cash printing machines.
Right.
No company had the wherewithal, even though everybody wanted us to, fuck COVID, forget COVID, say, you know what, we're going back into society. As much as they were saying that, they weren't thinking that, oh, wait, none of these people who are buying and playing all these video games would also leave their houses because we're telling them to.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to discuss the measles and polio and
that has nothing to do with 2020. That has nothing to do with 2020 and why everybody was staying at home.
No,
not at all.
That is a different.
Okay.
I mean, if we want to discuss public health in general, sure.
I mean, I'm just saying,
a whole bunch of people decided on top of the COVID vaccine they weren't getting many other vaccines. Yeah, and Florida is a literal fucking petri dish with the CDC located in Georgia, not too far behind them.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you were talking about this,
Georgia,
and you said COVID, and you said something about people not wearing things, and I'm just like, oh, actually, about that. While we're here, let's talk about like the consequences of telling people to go outside.
Oh yeah, I said go outside. I didn't say anything about a mask. That was my own personal fuck up. But
well, like the thing is, you didn't say anything about a mask, and that's exactly why I said what I said. To be clear about that. So I was just like, since we're stopping by the corner store, let me tell you, like, pick me up some fruit roll-ups, get me some snacks.
Also,
pet the bodega cat.
Yes, Dodger. Yeah, shout out to that one German dude who got 200 fucking vaccines, and nothing happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all afraid of one? This motherfucker took 200.
Mm-hmm. He was like riddled. Man's was the killmonger of vaccines.
Unfortunately, did not do anything. Like, not only did it not kill him, it also did not really give him super anything. Like super immune, like super immunization. But I do want to focus on the fact it did not kill him.
Mm-hmm. Let's be clear.
Yes, I'm upset that he did not get superpowers, but he also did not die. So let's see. Yeah, with Saber Interactive leaving the Embracer Group, they did say that the KOTOR remake is still on. No details as to where it is. But hey, there is a Warhammer game coming out. You can play that.
Was Saber the same? Did Saber make Vermintide?
No.
I'm looking that up.
And last on the list today, Rockstar wants to bring people back into the office because they're in the final stages of development.
Mm-hmm.
And they're concerned about leaks and productivity.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, when you say final stages of development and also productivity,
Mm-hmm.
and you mentioned Rockstar, just on those 3 bits, what does that give you?
Mm-hmm.
What is that giving to you?
Indeed. Indeed. Oh, I just quick side note. I just looked up Saber Interactive's game suite of games. They made World War Z Aftermath, a game that I'm very familiar with, Circus Electrique, and Mud, Snow, and Expeditions of Mud Runner game. I.e. Major's favorite series he probably hasn't played yet.
Yep. What is Xbox? What was Xbox's slogan for Game Pass? Discover your next favorite game.
Yes.
Yep. But Diogen hit the nail right on the head. It's giving little Captain Crunch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's giving. We don't want to run in the risk of leaks. So y'all got to come.
No,
y'all got to come in house.
It ain't about the leaks.
Yeah, that's the thinnest of pretext though.
Because if you force people to come into an office, they are mad at you. They're going to leak.
They're going to leak anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, leaks be leaking. I don't understand when people don't understand that. Like
this does nothing. This will increase the leaks.
Plus now you have made it easy for people to leak because now you are in the building with all the information.
Yeah,
all I could do is look at a screen and be like, with my phone and be like, yep, putting that on Twitter.
Yeah, like their excuse is, oh, this is about leaks. But no, this is about them trying to get employees back into an office so that they can monitor them for crunch.
For crunch, yeah.
This is all this is.
Yeah.
Like, I am an advocate for not forcing people back into an office, period. But I know Rockstar.
Yes.
And when you were saying that, you want people back in the office, not just for leaks, but for productivity, if they left that part out, maybe nobody would have thought about that. But because they said productivity, yeah, it's about crunch. This is all about crunch. The fact that they're final stages of development.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, this article isn't about them coming back to office. It's about the fact that when they tried this before, Rockstar employees got the union involved. Negotiations happened, and Rockstar said, you know what? Hey, my bad. We're sorry. You continue to work from home, and we won't do this unless it is absolutely necessary. We need people back into the office. A trailer leak is not that.
Mm-mm. Of course not.
A minor code leak is not that.
Never been that.
And so for Rockstar management to think that an emergency is happening, it's because a game is coming out. They need to make sure it's out before, sales targets get missed. So guess what, everybody? It's an emergency. We need all hands on deck because we bought, dog. Crunch it out.
Mm-hmm. That's what I hate, Captain Crunch.
So again, I'm going to say I'm in no rush for GTA 6.
Never. Never been.
But then
Never
again,
been in a
I'm
rush
not
for
a
a game.
shareholder, so
I mean, you don't. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a shareholder either. I'm just a regular degular country boy streamer. But yeah, I I look at the cat. I think it was like one game where I looked at and was like, I think it was like Prison Architect 2. And it was supposed to come out this month, but then it was like it got pushed to like May. And then I was like, dang, I'm disappointed that this game got pushed to May. And then I looked at my backlog and I was like, with a possible Helldivers 2 dangling over my head like a vengeful spirit. And I'm thinking, I'm good.
yeah, it's the one thing. Like again, I say that as someone who does not have a job and who can say like fuck credit. It's the thing of like I own a whole bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good here.
Yeah.
Now I have the really real threat of debtor's jail. Thank you, Jackie. And now I'm worried all over again.
Jackie literally just said, no, dog. Let me bring this irrational fear back into your consciousness. Damn, I got to worry about debtor's jail again. Damn. What is this? The Regency period? David Copperfield.
Look, I got you. Gotta stay ready.
Mm-hmm. Be like tap. I gotta tap into my lines of Christmas Carol. Like, are there no prisons? Are there no treadmills? Wing.
If they knock it, you going the other way.
Like
They'll catch me. I don't go very fast.
It'd be like, surely they'll die. Surely they don't want to go, and they may not, and they may die to do so. But if they do wish to die, I wish they would do so and decrease the surplus population. You don't mean that, sir, but with my whole heart. I'm a black man. I quote Dickens. What?
Well, that's it. That's all I got.
Yep.
So let's get into it. Oh shit!
What?
Kev, you ruined us.
What I ruined?
We should stop talking about we should stop talking about socio-economical politics. We've got other stories to cover. Now it's 9:52.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, between myself and Kevin, when I have the list of things, it is our job to make sure that the train keeps moving. Now, if we want to go back and backtrack through the social political commentary, we don't have to worry about not getting through all the articles we intended to.
I don't remember them anymore. I'm a guy of the moment.
You can always power through.
Because I will actually act like this is a Senate hearing and go, the House recognizes that you have a question. You have 2 minutes on the timer.
Mm-hmm. Synziak at arms.
You know, the House recognizes Major Linux would like to speak at this time.
Chairman, I forgot what I wanted to say. We went through the rest of the articles and I don't remember anymore.
We went through the rest of the articles and the topic has been forgotten. I yield my time.
Yeah.
Like,
I yield back.
I want to say that this was a deliberate action by the opposition party to derail me from talking about very, very important topics. And that if my people across the aisle would actually engage in these topics instead of avoiding them like they always do, because they're concerned about time, they just don't want to get into the serious topics.
I mean, I'm fine.
it's bait. Kevin, it's bait. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched enough C-SPAN.
You're right. You almost got me.
I'm like, don't.
You.
Because I'm sitting here talking about reaching across the aisle, and I'm just like, right. Speaking of them ballots looking real undecided these days.
Yeah.
You about to reach across the aisle and catch a slap. Do it.
That's right. I bubbled it in.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah Ross ain't get shit either. It was the fastest I filled out a ballot.
I seen that dude. I was like, oof.
Oh, you talking about you talking about our Republican governor?
Yeah, I seen that man, and I was like, ooh, mage.
Wait, what they got to do with me?
I ain't got nothing to do with you, but I'm like,
I at least look. I as an
Major,
as a unaffiliated voter, I did choose the Democrat one and fill that out.
So, Major, what I'm going to say is this. It is the ancestral melanin of it all, as it were, when you're just like, you go through things and you think about people that you're close to and be like, I wish this person were here to see this nonsense and fuckery that I am seeing on this sheet of paper. That was what was happening over there. It's a spiritual moment of being like, oh, I can't wait to talk about this because, the ghetto, the nonsense of it all.
So we went. So we went as a family to the polling place yesterday, and it was funny. It was like for me, it was like 3 choices, and I was done on the entire sheet. Just I filled out 3 choices. Sit there, done. Submit a ballot, and it's like my son and I just sitting kind of like because we were in a high school gymnasium, so we're like sitting on the sideline just waiting for my wife, who was literally going through the entire ballot. I was like, ma'am. If I've learned anything this time around, sometimes you don't have to vote for people.
No,
if you don't know them, especially in a primary, if you don't know them, you don't have to vote for them.
But I mean, I will, also, like, here's the thing, but work, because I will read that anyway, because the way that they try to sneak things in, like terms and conditions, and then be like, how did this creep up over here?
There weren't any of it was literally just people this time.
The way Tikal is out here, like, apparently 2024 is going to be the year that Tikal just looks at people and just like,
you cannot trick me.
Well, I'm glad that y'all caught up. I brewed out like a whole tea. I cooked the Thanksgiving turkey. I made like several sides at this point. We bought a table and Adirondack chairs, and we set them out in the backyard. You're welcome. I had time to build a 102-inch television screen from scratch. Where were y'all?
Look, Tikal, I had to get there. I have to take a journey. I mean, I could blindly listen to people like people still do, but I have to take a journey to get there.
Speaking of which, I need to find out what your voting schedules are around here, because they were just like, the primaries are, and I'm just like, what do you mean the primaries are? Today? What do you mean they're today?
Oh, I didn't know until like a week ago that ours was on Super Tuesday. I didn't think North Carolina was that damn special.
I need to check your schedules.
Yeah, I think it's our early vote. I think it's our early voting for the primaries, but it's not. But
no, I think your primaries are this Tuesday.
Yeah,
from what I've been seeing on Instagram from all of my from all of my uncommitted folks who were saying, hey, just don't vote in that spot because that's also uncommitted. But there won't be a number associated with it like for everybody else, like North Carolina and Michigan. Where it's, oh, we can see how many people said fuck Joe Biden.
I mean, as they did.
I am taking your information to call. I am. Also, look, I didn't know. Look, up until recently, I thought communism was illegal. I didn't know.
An ideology. As always.
That, I have to say, like, on a gentle and very thoughtful note, I think that is still one of the hardest things about how things have changed. And one of the things that has had to change is I have thankfully been surrounded by people who have been like kind enough to put information in front of me, answer questions if I have them, let me find things and come back and ask them, that type of thing. Now, in some cases, it took a little bit more time for certain things to change. It took less time for others. But just the idea of people being like, if I see you trying to make progress toward doing the right thing and I can help you along with that, then that's fine. And people not, the only way I know how to express this is people who are patient with me and don't get exasperated when I don't quite get to the conclusion right there. Because it's not just like hey, you have to present information. You're also having to deal with bel- beliefs about what this thing means, how you participate in, like what this stuff means, how you participate in stuff, what the future of this looks like, what certain concepts mean, and stuff. And for a lot of people, it's like watching their whole life shatter in front of them.
Yeah, like
It comes with a lot of stuff. Now, that being said, I can also understand where Takal and people like Takal are coming from when they're just like, when we tried to tell y'all that we felt a way about this and that we didn't want to
Yes.
participate in things, y'all came for us head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that needs to be addressed, and that is fair. But it's the place that you have to meet in the middle of, hey, I see where you were back then, and I get that now. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully being met by,
welcome,
I still want to bop you with like a little plastic mallet every now and then, but I'm not
welcome.
embittered
Yeah,
about it. I'm glad that you're here. Like, dap it up. We got work to do.
Right.
yeah.
You
It's. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kev.
no, it's like you came here you got there eventually, and I'm glad that you here. Now let's like crack knuckles and let's get to the real work.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly,
But,
it's
but
it's
and
the
probably
it's the fact that material conditions for a lot of people have changed. I mean,
Yeah.
because again, I can point to what happened to me last year, literally just a year and a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
to where I don't know, I all of a sudden would say, "Yo, fuck this shit."
Mm-hmm.
I was
and
already
also
on the edge, but then my material situation changed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, fuck this. I've got nothing to lose. Jumped in and said, oh shit, there was actually a whole platform here. Man, I did not know. My bad. Yo, let's get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, I will also say I can also understand and appreciate a small side of the next time I tell y'all about this shit, y'all need to listen to me or at least like give it 5 seconds of consideration longer than you gave it the last time.
Yeah,
And
I
that
mean,
is also
yeah.
and that is also fair. Like I'm just saying, like those two things are fair, and I can see where both sides are coming from, but it's one of those also remembering I'm when it comes to these things, and I have people who are on a similar journey at the very least. It's one of those. I'm not like I understand why this is irritating, and it's also like we're not here to fight each other. Like
Yeah,
these
like
people are like we're not here to fight
I'm
each other, and as
experiencing
long as
that
we're
fight
clear about
currently.
that, we're cool.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
probably where Takal was 4 years ago, like trying to tell other people.
It's a the course stenographer would like to know 9.
Huh?
9 years ago.
9? Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, personal things were starting to shake up for me then, not because of material conditions, but because it was like, how do I say this? It took forever as a whole black dude to get actually politically engaged in the first place because I don't have a family who's politically engaged. I'm like one of the first ones to then go back and be like, hey, y'all, just so you know, this is what's happening over here. That type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment I became politically involved, it was just like, let me take a really close look at what the hell is happening here. Oh my God. Oh, this is absolutely terrible. To then have to go back to my family and then be like, I know that y'all are not politically involved, but I need you to be aware of these things because I have at least in like on my mom's side of the family in Georgia, I have 3 sisters. Do you have any idea how stressful that is to be politically aware of things and then have to come back and tell them, hey, y'all be careful in these streets because if this happens to you, they just changed a whole bunch of laws that mean this applies, and this applies to you now. And those things are bad. You do not want them.
Oh yeah. I've been thinking about, I've always been like politically minded, but I would became like definitely like because I definitely politically minded. I have worked in the system. I worked polling place, and nothing pretty much prepares you for the onslaught as like working a polling place, and it definitely those that $100 at the time was well earned, and it was well spent. But you know once 2016 clacked off, it was like, oh, I need to pay attention to. I need to definitely double down on the engagement that I am feeling, because it's more like I knew who my peeps were. I knew I knew who I know who my governor is, my representative, my city representative, my local representative. I had an idea. But now it's like I'm going to city meetings. I'm engaged in the state and local and city election, county elections. Who is my this? Who is my that? Who is my, who do I need to go? Who do I need to yell at or point fingers to and tell them and wag my finger at them and be like, nah, who do I give bat pats and like attaboys to when they do good? And
like
to be invested in that more than I was.
And then also for me, understanding things like even the nature of what protest means. People speaking out in the middle of meetings and like having to unlearn things like y'all are doing that and that's speaking out of turn and being like, nah, like interrupt their brunches, interrupt their dinners, like interrupt their walks and runs, and like make sure that these people do not know a moment's peace while the people don't. Like that kind of change takes time because at least for me, thankfully, I was kept out of a lot of things that probably would have radicalized me in a very bad way, which is good. But then when the things came along that radicalized me in a good way, it was just like, oh, and now I'm in my 30s. Like that was kind of how that whole thing happened.
Because like I say, you feel like at that time you've kind of like lost the vigor of that.
Who are you telling? Who are you telling?
But now we're at the age now, because we are in the millennial age. We're like older and various shades of millennial, where we can be like the woman, or not saying like the woman, but like say we could be the church person in church being like, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Yes, you said that. Preach. Get it together. And be that rallying old people cheerleader from the side.
Yeah, that's why I can't stand people. That's why I cannot stand people who, especially like Gen X and millennials, who are like, man, we like they still holding on to that we hate Gen Zers. And I'm like, for what?
Who we?
Well, like here's the
thing.
Look, I'm giving them the fucking gasoline and the matches. Burn that shit down.
Well, like here's the thing. It's like what I am learning at the very least whenever this stuff comes up now is to ask people the very honest question, who taught you that? Because y'all didn't come out here. Like, these are people who are just born at a certain year that has a certain number on it. Who taught you that these people were were a problem?
Right.
A problem, the problem, any of it. Who taught you that? Where did that come from? Because you want to know who I'm having those conversations with? My mom. And it is a thing that, at least for me, I have that kind of connection and respect that she is able to follow along with things and go, oh, I can't see where you're coming from, right? Because I can kind of speak that language where she's just kind of like, I don't know why people act like this. And I'm like, let me ask you a question. Who taught you that this was a thing that was going to be helpful? Because I want you to look at you doing that and then how that has materially affected your life. Have these people at these corporations giving you anything other than an Amazon gift card for making them the amount of money that you make them? Because you have consistently said that you were their top performer for the last 3 months. What has that gotten you in terms of your ability to pay your bills? Right? It's that. But it, like, that comes with, there are things that sometimes you want that and sometimes you don't, Takal, I'll say that. But it came with a lot of things of having to ask people some questions that they don't think about. There are people who literally hate whole generations of people for no reason other than TikTok, Instagram, or something they saw on TV that said a group of people who haven't been here longer than 20 years in this world are the reason that the whole economy is collapsing.
Yep.
Or weird articles where it'd be like millennials are not buying dish detergent, and I'm like, what that got to do with anything?
Like when we say a chokehold, these people have a
buying
gorilla grip on your neck at this point. And I'm just like, why are y'all like, who taught y'all that?
a literal Kerchak size grip on your throat, and
Correct.
why?
And,
Like
and for
I
what?
may have my beef with Gen Zs because they don't know what a fucking save. They don't know what the save icon is based off of, or they don't have basic computer literacy. But
Right.
I don't give a shit because they about the fucking life that I want to be about.
Because that
can't
comes,
let me do it. I'm gonna let the, look, baby. Do you need me to run to the store to get you some gasoline and some matches?
I'll
go get you some.
Because I am of that understanding of like, I am here to make sure that I am here to be the safe person that I didn't have access to.
Make sure you got food. Make sure you got water, not to drink, but to wash the pepper spray out your eyes.
Mm-hmm. I'm here.
We bought you your umbrella so you can block the pepper spray.
I'm here to tell you, if you're doing action in agency, do not text it. Do not trust these apps. Get into some good old fashioned flash paper and go on by and write whatever you need to write down. Hit a match. Poof, that's it. Don't even call. Don't make phone calls. Be like Frank Lucas. You don't talk about, if you got something to talk to, you talk to Benny. Benny talks to Frank. Frank talks to me. All right. You gotta come in with the info. You gotta be like, here's the information. Here's urgency. Here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. Here's what I need you to do. Here's where I need you to go. Here's who I need to ask for. And then we set that up for them. And then we point them to where we need to go. We inform them. We give them love and affection, and then we point them to where it goes and says, "Get them." That's that.
Or they come to us and say, like, "This is what we're trying to do. Can you help us do it?" and stuff, right?
Right.
But it's something that Major has said a few times on this show and a few times privately, of being like, this kind of stuff that we're talking about, the learning, the building, the bridges, and all that other stuff between the generations and stuff, is kind of part of the whole strategy of being like, y'all have very understandable, valid, justifiable rage. Now, let's talk about where you're going to point those arrows and spears and other things, because it is not at people who are younger than you, and it's not necessarily at just people who are older than you,
but it's at each other, period.
It's just these people. Now, that being said, if you see people trying to do the right thing and you decide that you are going to stand for a company who does not even know that you exist, I don't know what to tell you except, whoops.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing I could do.
There's no need for you to be standing for something or someone that won't stand for you.
Now, on a note that Takao says, and this is a very real thing and a very hard thing that I am half fortunate on, right? When it comes to things that are important, there is a position in my family that I hold as the oldest son. That means that more likely than not, people are willing to listen to me. So they do. But it is very hard to be in situations where you're just like, y'all aren't willing to hear me, so I'm gonna have to go out and do the things. And then when you see the results of those things, maybe you'll understand why I did them.
Yep.
And I think far more people are in that position when it comes to this stuff, of being like, I'm just gonna have to go out. I'm gonna have to get into it, and y'all are gonna have to catch up. If I spend all of my energy arguing with you, I can't do the work I need to be doing.
Yeah.
And like that's been my position outside of politics, like just familial issues, where it's like, look, y'all don't believe in COVID, cool. That y'all want to see my look, y'all gonna have to follow some protocols. Y'all want to see your grandson again, because I'm not putting him in a position where he's getting sick and could possibly die from it. Yeah. And all of us in our house too, because we don't know what this virus is. And this was in at the beginning of the pandemic. I want to say May.
Like
May
this
of 2020.
Now, and my family wasn't necessarily the best about it either, although I will say one of the things, like, again, they knew that I was just like, hey, y'all, listen, I know that y'all are reading stuff on the news. I know that some of it seems hyper sensationalized, but I want to remind you that you, personally, you, the human being I'm talking to that is related to me, have immune issues. You can't afford to catch this. You, specifically, cannot. So, like, y'all already have enough issues as it is. You don't need more of them. Do not play around with this. Like, you literally have already have a whole immune system disorder as it stands. You can't play with that. That's not for you. These people out here not wearing masks, if I don't see you out here with sanitizers and masks and everything else, we're going to have a problem, because never mind all this other stuff that you're worried about, whether or not they're making it up, you're going to come home and not be able to taste and smell things. And then it's going to be a problem. Y'all don't want that.
But see,
That part.
and Scott, I've been watching your conversation here about the BLM protests and how the media was quick to point to it as a riot. I mean, we can even look at the Palestinian protests now and how they're not even being covered at all. I mean, that should tell you something in and of itself, and like how just racist they could be. It's like when the black people out on the street. Like when black people are out on the street, just black people. Oh, that's a riot. Oh, they're talking about Palestinians. Oh, we're supposed to act like they don't even exist. So then we just don't cover it at all.
And all of it, I wouldn't even say it's two sides of the same coin. It's literally the same side of the same coin.
Because essentially what they're trying to do is delegitimize an actual movement that goes against where the money is flowing. Once they can do that, and again, you look at Aaron Bushnell and you look at the, and it's sad because like they really buried the woman who self-immolated in Georgia in front of the consulate there. They're going to sit there and they're going to make it seem like, oh, we're just irrational. We don't know what we're doing. That's what they were trying to do with Gen Z. I would not be surprised if a lot of the shit that we feel about other generations are media based to get us to fight each other, because the fact that we should have thought that Gen Z was just batshit insane at one point. But what they want to do is to sit there and tell us that, that we're all just batshit insane. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. That way they can move in and delegitimize movements. It's the one thing that I have liked seeing about the Palestinian marches, because of the fact that motherfuckers out there every fucking week. They may not be heavily talked about, but locally in these communities, they are organizing and marching every fucking week, whether you see them or not.
Right.
And it's amazing. I wish BLM had that same energy.
And it's one of those, like, looking at like all of this, when we talk about things like this on the show, it's one of those, these are these major social and political issues, but then how does this relate to tech? Well, like part of the large things about how technology connects to this is a lot of what you see and what you don't. What happens when you type words in a search engine? What happens when you ask Siri about things? In our case in this country, who gets to have a job? Who doesn't get to have a job?
And that shit's even it's permeating into video games too. Not sure if y'all have heard of Bang on Balls, but I want to say it was right around the time I started getting into a lot of the Palestinian stuff, where I noticed that they didn't have a ball for Palestine. They had a ball for Israel though. And I looked at what the fuck shit is this?
And so there's a lot of things where you're just having to explain to some stuff. I remember it's just like it's a lot of having to explain things to people and being like well, I mean, not that this is going to be information or news to anyone here, but it's one of those things of like, when y'all see something, some of the biggest failings that y'all have isn't like, I don't understand things and I don't understand the scope of things. It is quite literally, in a lot of cases for certain people, and I'm not going to make mentions of names except to say you probably have matching printing paper. It is like a massive failing of just empathy. Like, you look at people and it's kind of like, these are not my circle and these are not my people, and therefore it is not my problem. And it's one of those things of like, y'all do realize that the whole thing about a lot of the systems that they're in is that they have to have a person to turn that system on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not if it will be pointed at you and if the violence or the oppression or whatever else is going to find you. It is a when question, not an if question,
Yes.
a when question. And the clock is ticking, and they are constantly trying to speed that shit up. So,
Indeed.
has me thinking about New York subway New York subway stations right now. I can't, and I'm not going to get into that because that's outside the scope of the show. But if you know, you know.
Oh, I know.
I
What's
heard
playing in
that
the
GOP
background?
members were having strokes.
Oh well,
I wanted to see it.
you'll see it. Oh, you'll see it. Check
And
that out
then-
before it gets banned.
And I guess something that this comes with a lot of like psychological side things, but something, hey, maybe this is one of those things that I'll probably cover on like a more personal like blog or something like that. But I mean, I don't know. Some of this might end up in an op-ed at some point because I think it's an important point. Anyway, I guess I'll ask the question that Major would actually ask at about this point in the day. Major, what do you have going on for the rest of this week?
Bringing my blood pressure down after hearing him mention about the 1,200 Israelis who were brutally slaughtered.
And you're watching the State of the Union.
Yes, I am.
And this exactly leads to the whole thing of you being like, why are you watching it? You're just pissing yourself off during your own show.
Because I still have to know.
I mean, you could know later.
Yeah, I guess I could get the highlights later. Fine, I'll wait.
Jesus.
Fine, I'll wait.
No, like, I mean, Major talking about a thing. I had to say this at work one time. I'm just like, my manager got, like, I finally just had a moment where I have a manager who thankfully is really easy to talk to. I had to just be like, hey, listen, today, just to this particular day that we're talking and having our one-on-one, I am reading about terrible things happening around the world, and then I'm also trying to manage these spreadsheets and reports that y'all are asking me for. And it's just, I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball today. And he's just kind of like, I get that. Please make sure to give yourself some breathing space or take a mental health day if you need to take one.
No higher.
In my department in particular, no. Generally speaking, yes, I think so. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you. Hopefully other managers are as nice as yours. But to legitimately answer your question, I guess, going first on this is odd. Normally I have time to think, but all I know is that my car's registration came in, so now my car is legal. I can drive it without having to worry about getting pulled over for that particular reason. Always have to make sure I emphasize that. So that's a thing. There is a Geek and Grub market for Mario Day. So definitely, if you feel up to it, you are in the downtown Raleigh area, Fletcher Park. I forget what the time is, but sometime in the afternoon. I'm pretty sure you can Google it and figure that out. We'll be, a friend of mine is having a Geek and Grub event where you get the gaming related crafts and art things and beverages and play giant versions of games and stuff like that. It is going to be a blast. I'll be there with Extra Life running a giant Hungry Hippo game.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
No idea how this works, but I'll be running it, or my team and I will be running it.
Well, threaten me with a good time.
Let's see. Outside of that, just still. I have orientation for my new job Monday. So, yes, thank you. All the paperwork has been signed. I'm now officially a Discord consultant for Diabetes Link. So yeah, hopefully get started with that work soon, so I can at least start bringing in some more money on top of Uber. Because Daddy needs to keep his Diet Dr Pepper supply topped off, and the medications too.
Indeed.
But yeah, that's it for me. Sin, since you put me on the spotlight, what you got going on? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Sin's running this. My bad. So yeah, I'm sorry, Sin. I interrupted.
That is fine. But Kevin, what you got going on this week?
Just like I say, like past week, it's kind of rough personally. But a rebound has happened. A lot of having to do a lot of adulting that I don't want to do, but now I'm gonna have to do more adulting that I already thought I was going to have to do. So it's like, boo, more adulting. But in the midst of that, I've been playing some really awesome games. So probably gonna be playing some more of that. I've been playing this game that Deb sent me called Quilts and Cats of Calico, where it's like, oh, it's a board game where you build a quilt, and if you build it right, cats will nestle on your quilt and give you points. And so that's it's pretty good. It's a pretty good game. Been playing that. Got another one. Going to try.
That day, his graphics card went to Florida to visit some friends.
Yeah, it was relaxed. It was very chilled. It was relaxed. You know. Then I'm playing Summer House. Probably be dabbling with that over the weekend. That is basically the whole thing. It's like a relaxing, like 2D house or building builder, where basically like you put things together, you build it, and then you can unlock other pieces as you build. It's been deemed as like no timers, no strategy, just put things together and making it look nice. So I'll probably be dabbling with that over the weekend, and of course more Balatro on my Steam Deck. And
his GPU is now going on a 10-day cruise to the Bahamas.
Right, so it's like almost like even more offloaded because I have the Steam Deck, and so now I'm also been playing stuff off the Steam Deck. So it mostly like it really just does work when I just don't want to feel like, well, I'm already at my desk. I'll just play Balatro on my desk, or I'm on the couch watching Hallmark movies, and I'm like, I could just play Balloons TD 6 Plus on my iPad. So handheld gaming has been handheld gaming right for me. And yeah, just for the most part. And I guess playing Frostpunk and being delightfully stressed at Frostpunk until I'm delightfully stressed by Frostpunk 2. Stewart!
When I saw that they announced the date, I was like, I would be surprised if Kev does not issue an article for it. And sure enough, as soon as the thought crossed my head, I got the post on Mastodon. Hey, a new article came out. Frostbite announced a date. I was like,
Yep. Because I was like, and then I pretty much pulled up in the news station, and I was like, yeah, I wrote an article about it, and it was just a paragraph with the video, and I just said Stewart, and then that was me. And so yeah, I'll probably be playing some of that because I bought all the funny enough, I didn't have the DLC. I didn't have all the DLC. I think I had like 2 DLC packs. No, I had 1. And so I just got the other 2 because I think Green Man had like a sale for the season pass for like $4, which was like a steal. And then I was like, cool. And then I was like, ooh, Sunbreak, like Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC is out. And that was less than 15. So I was like, cool. So it was like less than 20 for the both of them. And I was like, yay, awesome. And then yeah, so I'm probably gonna be like either a combination of trying to save the last of humanity from freezing to death, or hunting monsters in a very Japanese inspired setting. Yeah. So that's probably my weekend in gaming is gonna be. And for me.
For yours truly, it's just like there's going to be more time spent hopefully finishing out these monthly reports and not being stressed about it, making a couple of travel plans because it is almost time for my annual visit to, well, my second visit. I say annual visit, this is the second time it's happened, to the UK for a bit. Pray for me that they don't decide to collect me and keep me at the museum. And then having Diogen, if you happen to be over there and you want to give me a high five, let me know. But this
eventually I'll get the high five with the gentleman who lives in the same city as me.
At some point. Like
I have now told him where I will be outside again.
You know, that's fair. You did say that. I'm gonna have to ask you that again, but you did say that. Diogen, talk to me about that at some point. Right. Because I mean, I'll be there for at least a week. We could probably make like that happen. The UK is like significantly smaller for me than I guess Texas. So there's that. We got that. I am going to be DMing a game, so there might be some stories for that if y'all like me being a nerd about things. And I am going to play through more Portal 2. I started playing a duo game with my friend Noob, and we are playing more on Portal 2 with Noob and solving physics puzzles because, sometimes you like physics puzzles and throwbacks. So that is the thing that's happening. And then trying to get myself prepared for a work-related trip. And not next week, but the week after. That's basically me.
All right. With all that being said and done, it is time to end yet another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays. Thank you, everybody, for joining in, for participating in this week's show. Really do appreciate it. Of course, if you would like to listen to the archives of the show, you can go to majors.house/TTT for the audio version and majors.house/TTT-vid for the video versions. Of course, you can join it. If you are listening to the archive versions, listen to the podcast, you can go to twitch.tv/MajorLinux each and every Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for a new live show. Let me remind you, daylight savings time apparently starts this weekend.
It does. Hooray. It is on Sunday at 2:30 a.m.
Hooray.
So yeah, keep that in mind. If you would like to reach out to us, ttt@majorshouse.com is where you can email us. And of course, you can hit us up in the Discord, majors.house/discord. All of our social media or all of our Mastodon accounts are listed down below in the show notes and the description of the video. On behalf of Kevin and Sinziak, it's your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux. Saying thank you for joining us for another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays. Of course, you could have been anywhere in the world, watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech and gaming news yourself, but you said no, thank you. We like it from indie sources who aren't being plugged by big media to sit there and, obfuscate the truth from us. And for that, I say thank you. And all I've got left to say is I love you. And peace. How?
Wakanda forever.
I forgot to tell y'all I've been taking sign language. I've started taking sign language classes.
I mean, I felt like that was a thing you've been doing, but I guess this is a new class.
I took like a short break from taking sign language classes to sort some things out. Now we're back at sign language classes.
Fantastic. See you later.